Hello, everyone. Hello, and I am back. And you know my drill. I'm going to make sure that the Facebook feed is streaming. So I just got to test that out a little bit. Takes a little while. I think we're probably like a few seconds delay. I'm learning. But let's see. Okay, let's try this again. And I see, yes, we are up. Awesome. So here we are, Campus Bound GPS October tips. This is day 5, and I am excited. And for those of you who know me and those of you who don't, my name is Lisa Marie Eard. I'm the Collegiate Success Coach for Campus Bound GPS, where we help students and parents navigate the college application process. And for the month of October, we are doing it one tip at a time. Um, as I've been mentioning every day, I'm really excited because this is year 7. We've been doing this since 2016. And I am really excited because I have someone, a guest who's been here every year, just about every year, and he was a day 1. But before I introduce him, I just want to tell folks what we do. We help students and parents through the college application process. We understand that it can be overwhelming at times because there's so many parts and pieces to the college application process. I was working with one of my students today, and we conquered one hill, and then we had another one to go through. And she was like, and I was like, don't be defeated or deflated. You know, we're going to conquer it all because it is a journey, and it's a journey of discovery. And I'm excited to offer these tips because as students have to get to learn the ins and outs of the college application process, so do parents. And tonight's guest, my all-time friend, Mark Wiggins, who is the editor-in-chief of Off the Bench magazine, as well as the host of the Off the Bench podcast. He is also a speaker and goes by the name, if he still goes by the name, the Speaker Man, I'm sure he does. So he has so many different titles, but definitely great messages to go along with everything. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mark Wiggins, who is going to speak on your tip.
It's my turn.
It is your turn.
Oh, you didn't tee me up. I was like, when do I go? We're listen. Thank you, Lisa, for having me on. Yes, indeed, I have been a day 1 when ran out to Leesburg to shoot us in your basement like last minute. But anyway, glad to see that things have progressed for you in production. I am the editor in chief of Off the Bench magazine and the podcast host of Off the Bench with Mark Wiggins. The magazine is a motivational lifestyle magazine. Is what I do. If you follow me on my career, if you don't, Speaker Man is my handle on Facebook. I talk about motivation, life things, mindset change, how to become better than you were yesterday. Everybody say better, right? So this is what we're talking about. And when it comes to the world of student athletes and doing those things, you have an affinity for them because I was one. I was a student athlete and went to college, went to the University of Alabama in Huntsville, wore Chargers a while ago, a long while ago.
A long
And
while ago.
not as long as you, but that was definitely a while ago. And the process was slightly different for me because I went on scholarship, but it was slightly the same because I went on scholarship. So it was one of those things where that, and then you have children who've now gone through the process, and this type of information was not readily available. This type of support was not out there. We've heard horror stories and war stories about certain personnel not exactly being access friendly to information. You need to know somebody who knew something about it. So we're, Lisa, glad that your program is here to fill that gap. There's still a need, unfortunately, But it's so much, it's so massive, and it's changing probably every semester, things are changing, but some things remain the same. And some things that are necessary for us as parents who I'm speaking to tonight when it comes to supporting our children and getting to their next level, the one we pushed, sacrificed, ran around the county for, bought stuff every other weekend, ran up homework assignments, did the homework assignments, raise hands, whatever's necessary for our children to be in a position to be better than we were, right? Our goal, my dad used to say, your job as my son is to level up over me. Then he would put on to say that my level's pretty high, so you got a lot of work to do. He would lift you up 1 minute, Lisa, and then tear you down a hot second. It's like, okay, I'll never get there. But the bar has been set, and nonetheless, what we do is we challenge us. And what we do know is that when you meet said challenge and you have your own success, that the reward is real sweet. So tonight, my tip is from parent to teammate. From parent to teammate, it's an interesting position, because if you pay attention to what I'm saying is that forever you're the parent, but I think when we get into this process of preparing for the next level, the roles begin to change. What we once did and do does not necessarily help as much as it is before. There's a different preparation that's necessary going through this process. Whether you're a sophomore, junior, senior, every year all of a sudden we started looking at colleges, and then we got to start looking at what their interests are, and if they are athletic, are we getting offers and now NIL deals, like who's giving us money for these sneakers we're wearing, and all these games y'all been playing forever. Are we getting paid? If we ain't getting paid, we ain't playing. That's what we're doing around here. But now those conversations have to be had, right? And that's part of being preparing your team, your teammate, to get ready for this next level. And it's not necessarily a parent role. Lisa, we spent a lot of time in the gym with our girls growing up, and we were relegated out of the gym. Not to the sideline, to be out of the gym. Like, you are no longer needed as a parent, and here we need money, go raise money. So that's the kind of the topic angle I want to take with tonight, from a different perspective, if you will, different lens of how to better support your student to become the next level. How long do I have, Lisa? Because I can go at least an hour before I shut down. How long I got?
Just provide the information and we will go. Because I saw your notes, so I have an idea of where you're moving with it, and you'll know when the time is up.
Why are you just so calm and dignified? I'm over here going off. You just calm, whatever. Anyway, back to the topic. This is my 10 minutes. We're gonna run with this. All right, so let's go. So if you follow along, I do not give just a tip. I give half points as well. So I have 3.5 ways to move from parent to teammate. 3.5 ways to move from parent to teammate. So let's talk about the parent. We know as a parent, again, as I said, we're doing all things. We are seeing down the road. We know what's coming. Our kids are oblivious to what's really about to happen. They think they know. They think they're ready. They want to be out of the house. They're ready to go. And you're like, all right, you think you're ready, but you're not ready. But we're gonna get you ready. And one of the things we have to do as parents is start this process is to recognize a couple things. So here's tip number one. I'm going to tell you that you need to practice with your student right now. We in the world of sports, we need to practice. And here's what I mean by practice. You need to start having conversations, the locker room conversations about what is coming down the road. This is your chance and your opportunity to start to listen and impart wisdom from a different perspective. As someone who's walked through it, or have known people who've walked through it, or from what you've seen, heard, or whatever, even if you didn't go to college, irrelevant. You know enough to sit down and tell your child, your student, here is what's coming down the road, and here's how we're going to have to prepare. You put this game plan together. We're going to practice. We're going to get our letters together. We're going to find the schools. There's a process that goes along with this. And I know Lisa in her program will help walk people through this. You don't have to do it alone, right? We just talked about it didn't exist before, and now it's here. So why work so hard? But anyway, you have to sit down and talk about what it is that your child is seeing down the road. You have to begin to listen, because in practice, what we do in practice is we become conscious of everything that we do, from the way that we run, the way that we shoot, the way that we breathe, the way that we stretch, the way our plays are running, what we're supposed to do, what's anticipated. We are conscious of what's happening in practice so we can get more refined at it. So when game time comes, it's automatic. There is no thought, it's reaction. So you have to break down these processes of what you know this process to be. We need to talk about life on campus. We need to talk about what school you're going to get to and what's going on with it. We need to make sure that we're in their wheelhouse of why they need to get to schools. One, a tip inside the tip is be clear that this is not your journey. This is not your journey. It really is not. This is the culmination of the work that you put into your child for them to go on their own journey. You have to launch them out of here, but this is their journey. So what they have to say is really, really important, and they need to
So I
practice.
think I'm gonna cut you off there,
Wait,
and
no,
I'm gonna reel you back because I like what you said, and it had to sink in. This is not your journey. This is your child's journey, and and I was a helicopter mom who wanted to make sure that, yeah, you need to get this done and you need to get this done. And if you don't get this done, oh my goodness, we are going to fail, and we have to reel ourselves back and understand that it's not our journey, that it's theirs. And what they do and what they don't do, the consequences are faced, as a child, as your child, as your student, and that their mishaps are not yours. So, correct. It is not, what is it? It is not your journey. It is your child's journey.
It's your child's journey. Yeah. Helicopter was not the word. Helicopters. Helicopters.
Oh.
You forgot I was there. I saw it all. Anyway.
Yes, I have two children who went through this process.
Yeah, 2 and all the other kids you work with. Now, back to what I was saying. Now you made me lose my place. What was I talking about? I was talking about practice. Yeah, it's not your journey. So again, you have, and part of what we did in practice is we had to listen to instruction. We had to listen to it and then go execute. So when you're talking about what needs to be done, what letters, what schools, what interests, whatever's going on, this is where you need to pick up on those things and then begin to hone them in and get them set up for where they would like to go. I know we have a lot of, I heard something recently on a talk show about how our parents now will push the HBCUs. No slack, my school is a PWI. It is what it is. They paid for me, right? And parents are trying to get them to that school because they think it's great. But what this person was asserting is that may not be the best position or opportunity for your child. It may be far away. And there may be better money over there outside where you are. Now, maybe good money where you are, but there may be a full ride over there. So you have to take all this into consideration, but you cannot get there if you're not listening or having conversations in practice and open forum, right? When we're allowed to communicate. You want to make sure that you are listening to what we're talking about, and again, preparing them for what's coming down the road, what they think they know, what you know, and then you mix it all together. So practice is the number one thing we need to do with our students. The next thing you want to do, number 2 thing, is you need to make them accountable. I'll say it one more time for the people in the back. Make them accountable. To Lisa's point, we've been hovering and hustling and doing and having them show up and say, look at my kid, when really you did all the work. You got all the A's in history class, not them, because we helping. It eventually is going to catch up with them and make them not know how to function.
They have to do the work. They have to. That's one thing. They always have to do the work.
Have to do the work. When I do my business talks, Lisa, and I'm talking to business owners and entrepreneurs, one of the facts I tell people is be understanding that everyone will not love your business as much as you. They will not. They will not. So everyone's not going to love your college journey or your journey more than you. Again, they have to be accountable for the action. If there's a tasking item, they get it done. There's a penalty for this. There's consequences for not delivering. Now, we don't want to set them up for failure. I'm not saying that, but you can only take it so far. You cannot want to go to school more than your student. You cannot want this essay written more precise than them, because it's just not going to do it. You're just not. And then what's going to happen is they're going to get there and they're going to fall into the statistics. That's still a word I do not like. Statistics of who don't make it back to college after the first break. The numbers are staggering. They don't make it out the first year because they're someplace they don't want to be. They just did it because I'm a kid and mom and them said do this. So they've been trained to do this. I'm talking about that transition. They've been doing their kid role, and now you got to put them in the front role but you also have to fall back out of your role and allow them to make their way and get their knocks. If they're not, again, back to practice. Let me tell you what you need to go in and say to the counselor. Follow this script right here. What are we talking about? Now go advocate for yourself. If that doesn't work, call me and your dad and your mom, and we're gonna roll up there. See, that's different than I got it. Let me tell you what they said, and you need to do this, and why did you get it done? That's totally different than what did they say? What are we gonna do? What's our plan? How are we moving forward?
So, in other words, as a parent, you have conversations with your child. Let them, let's see, provide a space for them to be their own advocate. Show them how and what it means to be your own advocate, and then walk them through the process, even if it is practicing the conversation that you're going to have, so that you'll feel the student will feel more comfortable when they're placed in that position.
Yeah, you can say that. That's right. That's kind of what I said. You want to just condense it all down, right? You want to make sure that they're prepared. Again, teaching our kids how to advocate for themselves is probably one of the best skill sets we can give them. How to speak up, how to ask questions, how to get in front of the instructors or whomever to say, you need to explain this again to me. I'm not quite sure. This is what I'm seeing. What is this? And then let them learn that they can take that data, process it, and then call the team, you and everybody else, and say, this is what they're saying, y'all work. Does this make sense? This is what I'm feeling. That's totally different than doing everything and saying and regurgitating to them, and you get there, then they're lost. When you pull off campus, they're lost. We want them to be a little bit more prepared, especially with this process and all the stuff, all the deadlines and whatever. You got to teach them how to be on top of those things. So you got to hold them accountable. Again, they don't do the work, the consequences. You have them, I have them. Everybody has them. I wasn't on time online in time. I'm getting phone calls like I'm pledging again. Where are you at? How come you're not here? I'm like, hold on, sis. I'm good. I do this. I'm talking about you, Lisa. You didn't figure that out.
No, I figured it out.
I'm sitting right here, but I was preoccupied. But anyway, let's go. So that was tip number 2. Tip number 3 is, this is where you get to become a fan. Become a fan of your student. Like, you're already there. You've been to everything, but you are going to see them in a whole different blossoming light. The light's coming on, and they're making moves, and they've got their decisions. They got things and ideas that they're afraid to share sometimes with us as parents, because they're going to get this shoot down thing that we've been doing all these years, as opposed to listening to what they're saying and finding a way to encourage them to keep going. Don't step on enthusiasm. Don't step on it. Kind of shape it and mold it. This recently just happened. My deputy director, her daughter, well, my niece, who I watched grow up literally, was gymnast, thought she was going to be a gymnast. Then she gets into acting. She just knew she was going to go to school for acting. She applied to all the hitters, and it didn't happen. Marist, want to go to Marist, want to go somewhere else. It didn't happen. And her parents were dead set that she was going to go to school, well, get a different degree, get one in film development, design, or whatever. She said, I want to be an actress. I want to act. I want to act. So what happens, to call Uncle Mark. Uncle Mark goes out to dinner with her and says, all right, sis, what's popping? Well, this is how I'm feeling. This is where I'm going. I said, what's your plan? Well, what if you don't do this? So you're saying you're going to take a gap year? Huh? No gap years here. But if you take your gap year, ma'am, that's your plan. What do you plan to do? And she began to talk. And so I broke it down. I said, okay, I hear you. That's your plan. And you tell me you're going to be a gap year, but you ultimately said you want to be an actress. If in your plan, I don't hear you talking about being every place smoking in Loudoun County, every show, every whatever, coaching, teaching, helping somewhere, then I'm thinking you're not really serious about being an actress, because in the midterm, you still should be working on your skill set. Talking about practice. You still should be working on what you want to do if that's where you want to go. Now, her parents are traditionalists, degreed, mastered, doing their thing. Stunned that she didn't want to go to college. Stunned. And I told her, I'll stand by your decision as long as you do what you say you're going to do. And I had to go back and explain to them and say, listen, she doesn't want to do that right now, but this is what she needs to be doing. And she started doing it. Anyway, having them, and you got to be a fan of that. You still have to support it. She's finding her way. And all of a sudden, some people are calling about roles. She is getting something called from out of New York. She is getting opportunities to audition, and she wants to apply to other schools. But it was her path. Remember about this is not your journey? Remember that?
Right. And the interesting thing is, this connects to the topic last night, I spoke about, and now this conversation is a mindset conversation on so many levels. Even though you're speaking to the parents, I hope there are some students listening, especially to that story. Last night I spoke about having intentional focus when you're going through the college application process, and discovery. Being intentional about who you are and discovering who you are, so you can have the courage to be like this young lady and say, you know what, I don't think college is a part of my journey today. This is what I would like. This is the path I would like to follow, and then be intentional with it. And then, because you are clear and you are intentional and you're focused, hopefully, those parents who are devastated at the fact that they took that journey and they had the same expectation for their child, can say, you know something, I'm listening to you, I'm hearing you, and I am your fan, and I will champion you through your journey, because your journey is different than ours. But we also see the path. We see the work that you're doing. We see the focus, the intentional focus that you have, and we see your way. So it's definitely twofold. It's definitely a mindset shift, because everybody's journey is different.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating how we forget. I want to raise an independent child. I want to be a own thinker. But hold up, you that's not what you need to think. That's not it. That's not it. The thing that we train them to do, when they give it to us, all of a sudden they're getting ready to give it to us. That's not fair. They're giving you what you taught them to do. So that fan position, that mindset shift from parent to teammate, because teammates support teammates. Teammates hold teammates accountable. Teammates work with teammates. I've run lines with teammates who were last in place and I was already done. Why? Because teammates don't let teammates fail. That's your job now. Parent teammate. I'm gonna still do what I need to do, but don't be mad when that thing you taught them to do and they're starting to do it, it shows up. It shows up, and you should be highly encouraged by it. Like, okay, cool, but let's modify, let's frame it, let's get to it, and they eventually get where they need to get to. Hopefully they can get the college process and go there and move on, because we're going to have another conversations about leaving and all that kind of stuff. What's next? Micaiah going into college was not Micaiah that when I came out of college. I was like, yo, who is this? I got this, dad. I got this. You need, no, I don't need nothing. I need you to be here. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm right here. We need to get you doing what we got to do. Same thing with Marcellus. Same thing. I didn't know if he was going to make it back to college. I was like, son, you sure you know which way to go? Are you good? so now he's in med, and now he's in med school. So I think he's finding his tribe, and he's finding to be okay. But he had to do it again his way. And me being the parental teammate had to support that and allow him to become a better him, how he needs to be. Not what I wanted, is what he needs to do. And we support that. And as a parent teammate, this is what you have to do, is get that support in. Kids, right. So here comes the point 5. And for those who follow along, you know already, but those who don't know, new to this, my point 5 is, well, Mark, why is it always point 5? Why is it not 4? First of all, no one remembers a 4 point. It's usually 3 points. The point 5, you'll never forget it. And you like, what is point 5? Well, the point 5 is probably one of the most important of the points. And since we're prisoners of the moment, you will remember this over my other points, but this is crucial to the other points. The point 5 is keep them calm. Talking about mindsets. Keep them calm. The conversations that you will have about them in the transition, leaving friends, want to go here, want to do that, you're going to lose what hair you have, or what you're about to hear, and then having anxieties, and here comes this test and that test. I'm off by 4 points, and Susie got 12,000, and I only got 900. What am I going to do? Find another test? I don't know. But you're going to have to be in a position to keep calm. They don't get into their first choice. Oh no, life is over. There's how many colleges, Lisa? I used to know this number. 5,626 different colleges out here. You didn't get into one. Okay. But when you're irrational and thinking that this is all that you've been working for and you pressed and pushed for, and they don't get it, they may think they have failed. And the mindset now of dealing with a child who's failed or believes to have failed is very, very challenging. True story. I watched Marcellus in this house during pandemic prepare for the MCAT in the med school.
I think so, yeah.
One of the hardest things I ever had to do was to sit here and listen to him grunt, moan, fall out. Literally one night, pretty near lost it. Come to me, Dad. I don't know if I can make it. I'm not gonna be. I was like, "Yo, bro, breathe. We need to breathe. We need to breathe." He was so overwhelmed with anxiety about these tests and getting into these schools, like he would fail if he didn't get into med school right away. That's hurt. That hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But as a parent teammate, I had to keep him calm and walk him through. I didn't know what he was talking about. What's an MCAT? Is that a motorcycle? I don't know what it is. But apparently, you need to pass this to get to where you want to go. So we're gonna have to work this out, bro. This is gonna have to happen. But that is the number 5. You as a parent teammate have to keep calm. You're missing free throws. You got to go up and calm your teammate down. They just took a charge. You want to fight. You got to calm your teammate down.
I'll say this though. So I had this conversation actually today with one of the students I'm coaching, and we were talking about her college selections, and she was nervous. She said, "I don't know if I'll be." I can't remember what she said happened, but she said, "I don't think I'm going to get into these schools. What do I do?" And I'm like, first of all, and I think somebody said that she may not be able to get in. And I said, no, first of all, there's a reason why you selected your schools. And let's talk about it. And let's be confident about the reason why. So I just want to stress that in order for you as a parent to calm your child, especially when it comes to getting into the school of their choice, if you're working alongside your child and you are looking at the college list, I strongly advise that you ask your child, why are you selecting this school? What is it about this school that will make you successful in the field that you are interested in? This will encourage your child to do the research to find out if this is a good fit, which will hopefully calm your child because they know that they've done everything that they can possibly do to ensure that they got into the school or applied the necessary things and know that they have the potential to enter this school. I think that one of the most important things, and one of the things that all of us fail to realize, is you are applying to schools that you are best suited for academically, environmentally, socially. And if you really do your homework to see if this is the best fit for you, if you don't get in, then yes, you're warranted disappointment. But if you've done the research and you know this school inside and out, and you know that you have qualified, you have the qualifications to get into this school for the major you selected, for the reasons why you selected it, then it should be an easier, I don't want to say easier, that's not the word, because it is selective, but you're putting yourself into a better position to be successful. Does that make sense, Mark?
It does make sense. It does make sense. I think going back to the practice and preparation, a lot of our kids don't know how to spell setback nor failure or disappointment. They can't spell it. And here comes your first rejection of something that you really, really wanted. And I ain't talking about, little Susie not want to dance or trade phone numbers. I'm talking about a school saying, just not it. and you internalize it like you're not good enough. Like, whoa, where do we, where do we slide off into? But this is where we are. You're right. The emotional side of this is real, and they're going to have to get prepared for that. And that's where this practice comes in. We had these discussions and set the table. There's a possibility that you and the other 30,000 people trying to get in here, they can't take everybody.
Right. And that's kind of like your reach school.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear the conversation about your reach school, your safe school, um, but I will not stress enough, do your research and find your why. I told this story earlier. I selected one of the schools I selected was because of their basketball team. I used to watch Saturday basketball game, NCAA games, and I was like, yeah, I want to go there because so and so plays on that team. That's not the reason to select a school. And my choice came when I visited the university that I went to. I spoke to people in the department. I, saw the environment that I felt that, I could enjoy, because it's not only the academics, it's also, what are you going to do? And this was talked about a couple of days ago by some parents whose child was visiting a school, and the admissions counselor asked, when you're not studying in your major and focused on your major, what else are you going to be doing while you're on campus? Campuses, university settings offer your academic career path journeys, but they also offer socialization and community, and an opportunity to meet the friends that you will have for a lifetime. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal to do the research and really feel that this is the best fit for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not where my best friend is going. It's not where my boyfriend is going. It's not where mom and dad went. It is the best fit for you as a student. And parents need to open up to that as well. If you want to be the teammate, let them know that they need to do the research. Not you, they need to do the research. I'll stop.
Absolutely.
I'll stop there.
Where you killing it? Go, girl. do your thing. Work it out. Work it out. And it is, they need to do the research. I mean, I remember back when Micaiah was looking for schools, and she wanted to go into fashion design and all that kind of stuff. Knew nothing, um, but she had Auburn on her mind. Me nor her mother were rooting for Auburn at all. We were roll tide. Mom's from Birmingham. I mean, from Montgomery, Alabama fan. I started rooting for Alabama. Never mentioned the word Auburn. It's like a cuss word. She's actually literally on the campus of Alabama taking the tour and gets notified she got accepted to Auburn. Immediately leaves Alabama, rolls to Auburn, and goes, "I found my place." And I was like, "For real? This is what you want to do?" She had done the research. They were number 5 in fashion merchant. I said, "Oh, we are in the textile belt. We are down here in that area. Atlanta, not too far away." So all of a sudden it clicked and made sense. I didn't do the research, nor should I have done the research. She needed to do the research and therefore knew exactly what she wanted to get done. And that's part of being a teammate, right? So now we're Auburn gear. Ugh. But so you got to support, man. You got to support. You got to support. So it's definitely good. Hope the parents out here listening. Hope the students out here listening are getting encouraged and, dare I say, empowered to engage in this process. This is, if nothing else, you all need to understand this is about you. Flat out. It's not about mom and them, cousin them, daddy them, uncle. No, it's about you. They're following your lead. They're going to support you how
You the
best they
student.
can where you work. So what?
You the student.
I
It's
said
not
that.
about
I'm talking to students. I said that. Did I not say I'm talking to students? I'm talking to the student. They're following your lead, and they're going to support. That is what we're talking to parents about, being that teammate. So advocate for yourself. Speak up. Like Lisa says, do the research. If you're working with her, make her work. But you're gonna have to do the work in order to make her work. She's not gonna just do it for you. That I do know. That ain't happening. Um, but anyway, those are my points for tonight. Number one, practice. Become that teammate. Practicing means talking about things, going through scenarios, talking about all things, getting prepared so they can go and advocate for themselves. Two, make them accountable. Set goals, set timelines. Again, they need to want this more than you, and understand the consequences that come with not meeting goals or meeting goals and getting the rewards. Number three, be a fan. Again, support is huge and critical. Talk to any athlete. Again, that's where I dwell, so pardon this, but talk to any person who's competitive. The one thing that hits people to the next level is support. People rooting for them, however that looks like or whatever it needs to be. So be that fan. And the point five is keep them calm. And you stay calm too. Keep them calm and enjoy this journey that they're on because it is life changing. It's life changing. It happened many, many years ago, and I won't forget what I went through, who supported me, who didn't support me, who tried to jack me, who tried to crab bucket me, and those who lifted me up and kept me moving. There you go.
Mark, I thank you for that wonderful insight, that wealth of information. Parents, take heed. Students, you have your role in this journey, and we've got to come together. It takes a team to win the game, right? So, excuse me, we're putting the team in place, and I like that. Normally, my analogy is driving, and I think it's because I drove my kids to so many places when they were in high school, and I usually use the term changing roles from putting myself in the passenger seat and my child in the driver's seat. But, in speaking about a parent and having them be that teammate, that peer, that cheerleader, alongside your child in this process, I think that is such a great analogy. And I thank you for that. So,
You talking to me? You're welcome. I never know who you're talking to. I'm just here. All right. Thank you,
well,
Lisa.
you are quite welcome, and thank you for being my day one. Yes, in the basement, trying to put this together and create it from more than just the voice of me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I have guests, because there's so many experiences out there. There's so many stories out there. There's so many ways to present information that one voice, one singular voice is not enough. Parents, I know you're out there, and there are so many parts and pieces to the college application process, but you are integral in this process. You are glue. Your child, even though you hear, oh, I know this, or this is what I think I should be doing, you know the other parts, and you have to be that voice of support. So, Mark, thank you for your tips. I appreciate and value you being a supporter of Campus Bound GPS all these years. And that's it for tonight. We have completed 5 days straight
Woo-hoo.
on our journey to 31. Um, Parents and students out there, thank you. For those of you who are catching the replay, put your comments in. Just know that we have expanded the platforms that we are on. So we are being shown on Facebook, on YouTube, and now on LinkedIn. So I'm excited about that. We're growing, and we're doing good things. So stay tuned. Join us tomorrow night for another episode of October Tips. And good night and be safe.
Good night.